All right. Hi, everyone. My name is Bryson Keltner. I'm the International Admissions Counselor here at Western Kentucky University. Thank you so much for joining me today for the Live on the Hill series. So each week, I'm taking a little portion of WKU and talking about it a bit and showing you a portion of campus that relates to that topic. So today, I'm talking about the Potter College of Arts and Letters. So for the Potter College, there's basically all of our arts majors. If you would like to know a little more about the Potter College, the list of majors are art, communication, English, folk studies and anthropology, history, media, modern languages, music, philosophy and religion, political science, sociology, criminology, theater, dance, and interdisciplinary studies. So the Potter College here at WKU does cover a wide array of different fields. And within each of those particular fields, there's even more divisions, so you can study even more things. So for example, in the communications department, you can study communication studies, you can do public relations. Within modern languages, you can study Arabic or Chinese, Spanish, French, all kinds of different things. So before we get started, I also have a very special guest joining us here today. So I have Chelsea, who's a current Potter College student. So Chelsea, do you want to say hi and tell everyone a little bit about yourself?
Hi, everyone. My name is Chelsea. Can you hear me? Can everyone hear me? Okay. My name is Chelsea Sabaranes. I am from Belize, and I major in public relations, and I have a minor in sociology. So I'm very involved in the Potter College, and I am now a senior at WKU.
All right, thanks so much, Chelsea. So feel free to drop in at any time when I'm going around and tell us a little bit about your experiences here at WKU. All right,
Yes.
So we're going to go in and get started with today's tour. I am currently at the top of the hill. So if you didn't know, WKU's campus is built on a hill. We are known as the Hill Toppers. So I'm kind of towards the top, and you can see there's a nice little overview of downtown Bowling Green up here. And I'm currently right in front of Meter Auditorium. So you can see very beautiful. We actually are known as one of the most beautiful campuses in all of the southern United States. And you can see there's a little bit of confetti floating around. We just had graduation and conferral of degrees. So a lot of students were celebrating with pictures and confetti. So if you see some of that, that's what that is. And actually, I was supposed to be able to let you inside of Van Meter to show you what the inside looks like. However, the person who was supposed to let me in is not here, so I do apologize. But you do have a nice view of the outside. So in Van Meter Auditorium, that is where a lot of our performances are held. It is quite large. It is 2 stories. So a lot of our theater performances with our theater students, musical performances are in there as well. In Van Meter, there's a lot going on. Some classes are in there as well. Also, during the semester, we have a lot of different performances that come in as guests at WKU. So, for example, their college does something that is called Cultural Enhancement Series. And basically, they bring in guests for all of our students, completely free to our students every semester. So they might have a vocal group come in. They might have an author of some sort. A couple of years ago, we had Neil Gaiman. If any of you are big fans of his books, he came in, did the Cultural Enhancement Series. So a lot of those events are in the Van Meter Auditorium. I'm currently walking around here.
Sorry, Bryson. Can I add that where you are is one of the best places on campus because it's right at the top and you have like an overview of the city. So it's very beautiful, especially in the evenings and the mornings.
Absolutely, especially this time of year. Just a little bit cool. It's a great place to study as well up here. As you can see, lots of green space, and I'll show you some more of those green spaces behind this building when we get there. But yes, absolutely, Chelsea, it's very beautiful up here. This building I'm just passing right here is the Gordon Wilson Hall. So the Gordon Wilson Hall is associated with our College of Business. So in a couple of weeks, I'll be doing a webinar solely focusing on that college. So if you are interested in doing some form of business at WKU, definitely tune in for that one. This building I'm coming up on is one of my favorites, and it's kind of our landmark building of WKU. So this is Cherry Hall. It is at the very, very top of the hill. We kind of joke and say we're the only school with a cherry on top. But we're up here at Cherry. You turn around, there is an excellent view down the street towards downtown Bowling Green. And there's Mr. Henry Hardin Cherry standing up there. He is our first president of WKU. So you're going to hear about Cherry a lot if you come to WKU. Actually, for our 100th year anniversary, we planted 100 cherry blossom trees on campus. So in the springtime, when all of those bloom out, it is absolutely gorgeous. I would think that you would agree, Chelsea.
Before I left to come home, the cherry blossoms were just starting to bloom, and it was so beautiful. And I've seen a lot of pictures since then, and I wish I could be there right now with all the cherry blossoms.
Yes.
But you'll definitely know about Cherry Hall. It's right at the top of the hill, like Bryson said, and at night it lights up. That's one of my favorite parts. Driving by at night, seeing all the different colors that it lights up to.
Yes, absolutely. So I want to make sure the connection is good. Chelsea, can you hear me? Am I not cutting up or anything?
Yes, I can hear you, Bryson.
Okay, just making sure. I like to switch to Wi-Fi when I go inside buildings. So we're currently in the basement of Cherry Hall, like Chelsea said. And we're going to go up the steps here. So Cherry Hall has been around for so long. It is one of our older buildings on campus. Updated. A lot more of our classroom buildings are more modern, but this one, even though it is, not quite as updated, it is just a very big testament to the history of WKU. So everyone who has been a student at WKU for the last decades have walked through Cherry Hall and had a class at Cherry Hall at some point. So in this building, I apologize, it's a little dark, a little empty right now. We have different programs. Our English department is here. We have folk studies, film studies, history, a lot of those different types of classes are here. And I will say as well, even if you're not, focusing in one of those fields, you're still probably going to take a class in here. Because no matter what you're studying, if you're an undergraduate student, one second. Okay, sorry, can you hear me and see me now? I was frozen there for a moment. Okay, just making sure. As I was saying, I don't know how much if I cut out. Cherry Hall is one of our landmark buildings, and it's where our English classes are located, our history classes, some film studies, folk studies, a lot of different things like that. But even if you're not starting to major in one of those things, if you come to for undergraduate studies at WKU, you're still going to have a class in there more than likely, because no matter what you're studying, you will still have to take a few general education classes. We call them colonnades here at WKU. So you're still going to have to take a history class, an English class, chemistry, and math, some very lower level things with whatever you're choosing to focus in. So you're still more than likely going to have a class there at Cherry Hall.
Yeah, my first ever class at WKU was in Cherry Hall, my English class. And a lot of my classes last year, I took a lot of colonnade classes, and they were all in Cherry Hall. So Bryson is right.
Yes, so we're coming through now, kind of towards this area. I love this area, Chesley, with all this greenery here. It is kind of a place in the middle of these buildings with classes, so also an excellent area to study. And you're also right over to the Garrett Conference Center, and Garrett houses a few restaurants up here at the top of the hill. So they have a pizza place, Pan Fresh Chinese, Subway sub sandwiches, pasta, things like that. So most of our restaurants are towards the middle of the hill, but there definitely are options up here at the top to most of these Potter College buildings. So Chelsea, I think it's a good time coming down here. Would you want to tell us why you specifically came to WKU? What kind of brought you here?
Well, for me, I had a checklist when I was looking at different options of where to go, because I mean, there's so many different options. So at the top of my checklist was finding somewhere that fit my financial budget, and WKU definitely did that. And there is a lot of different options and assistance that you could look into that I'm sure Bryson or Savannah or somebody, they could help you to look or to help guide you to someone that can give you those options. The second thing on my checklist was finding a college that had my major, that had a good program in my major. And WKU with Potter College, they definitely hit the spot with the public relations major, and that was very amusing and capturing to me. And so they have a very, very good program, and that's the second reason why I chose WKU. And the third and last thing on my checklist was finding somewhere that I would be comfortable, somewhere that I would have fun, but at the same time experience a lot of new things. And that has definitely happened since I have started going to WKU. Bowling Green on a whole and WKU, especially the campus, is somewhere that I feel very, very safe. And that is very, very important to me. Even my mom, she always says she would never leave me somewhere that she doesn't feel safe. She doesn't feel that I would feel safe. And WKU is definitely somewhere that I feel comfortable in. I've never had a bad experience with anyone or with anything in general. I've also experienced a lot of new things that I know I would not have gotten to experience if I would have went anywhere else. And now that I've completed my second semester at WKU, I keep on saying that I am so happy that I chose WKU, because I honestly cannot see myself being anywhere else. I know, I believe in everything happens for a reason, and I definitely think WKU was and is the best choice for me. Everybody, especially since the topic is mainly focused on Potter College today, excellent. All the teachers that have taught me, they're so great, so knowledgeable, and I feel very very loved and very attended to. They're always there if I need help. And it's just the little things they have a center with students that could help you with different work and different assignments that you have if you don't understand. So they're very helpful. And especially during this crisis that we're going through right now, my teachers, they still check in on me. They have different learning centers that we could go to if we're struggling in an area. And it doesn't just have to be with school. It's like me personally, if I'm feeling down, they're there to talk to me. And so I feel very loved. And WKU and Potter College has been one of the best decisions that I have made in my life so far.
All right, thanks, Chelsea. That was awesome. So I want to talk a little bit about the area I'm in right now. Thanks so much for sharing all that, Chelsea. And you mentioned safety. We take safety as our number one priority here at WKU. In fact, we're considered one of the top 4 safest campus communities in the entire U.S. So safety is a big concern for us, and we want to make sure that all of our students feel comfortable at all times. But here in this area I'm in right now, I'm in the colonnades. So I do apologize. It's not very sunny today. It looks like it's about to rain, but on sunny days when class is in session, you'll see a lot of students just hanging out here, studying, maybe playing some music, playing guitar. So it's a really great area. And it's actually part of what used to be our football stadium here at WKU. So sports are a very big part of our culture for us. And to kind of pay an ode to that, they kept part of this original stand here um, and called it the colonnades. And also, I don't know if you can quite see it, there is a little bunny statue over there. I'm coming up on another statue. So since we're talking about the Potter College today, which includes a lot of arts programs, there are over 20 different sculptures on WKU's campus, and each of them have some form of meaning. Each of them have a very interesting history. There's actually a book that is published on the different sculptures here on campus. So there's one right there. So that's definitely something interesting too about our campus. Again, we take very beauty as one of our big things here at WKU. So I'm walking down now to the Fine Arts Center. So this building right here is the Ivan Wilson Fine Arts Center. And it is definitely kind of one of the central hubs of Potter College. So I definitely wanted to show it to you. I'm gonna go inside for you. I'd also encourage, if y'all have any questions, feel free to put them in the chat box. We're gonna have just a little time after we finish the tour here to answer a few of your questions. So feel free to do that. I also want to say that we won't be seeing all of the buildings associated with Potter College today. So again, we are located on a hill. A little towards the center of the hill is Jody Richards Hall, which is kind of our mass media and technology facility. So I'm sure Chelsea is familiar with that one as well. But in that, we have our School of Journalism, a lot of our PR classes, public relations. So that is located on down the hill.
I love that building. And downstairs, there's a computer lab that's open, I believe, 24/7. Bryson?
Yes.
Yeah. I love going in there and just working. Very convenient.
Yes,
and
so
there's a coffee shop right in there as well.
Yes, it does have a coffee shop as well. And then we do have labs all over our campus. But as Chelsea was saying, that one is open 24/7. So if you feel you need to print something, at 2 a.m., which I definitely had to do a couple of times when I was a student here, you can do that in that building. So I'm going to try to unlock the door here for you. And again, I apologize if I lose you for just a moment. I'll have to switch to Wi-Fi. So please let me know if it freezes on you. All right, can everyone still hear me? And is the
we're back.
camera not frozen? Am I good?
Yeah.
Okay, perfect, awesome. Okay, so again, I am in the Fine Arts Center, which is where a lot of our different arts programs are housed, but then also some other programs as well. So I'm right here in the sculpture area of the Fine Arts Center. So you can see some of our different student works that are displayed here. Very interesting. I'm gonna go this direction. So also in this building right here, coming up, it's kind of dark, you can't see it right there, but it is the Academic Commons. So basically it is just a huge study area for our students to use in the Potter College. But also in this building, you're gonna find different classes for communications, for that. And what's also really into an art display. So sometimes there was once I was here as a student, one hallway was completely covered in yarn as one of the art students. So it's just really interesting to see what some of our art students kind of transform this building into.
Yeah, definitely. I always notice they're always changing every so often, the different art that they put into the the boxes, and I love it. There's always an interesting fact behind the art that they put into it, into the display boxes.
All right, so I might have just lost you there for a moment. Can everyone still hear me and see me? Okay, perfect. So right here is some of our different displays. Again, we like to show you what our students are working on. So here's some of our displays from our graphic design students. And here we have a few photos for some of our performance students. I forget which play they were doing at this point. And here's some of our costume portions as well. This looks like it is the Bluebird and the Princess. That's what they were doing with that costume. And here we have a big open area that comes into another one of our theaters. So I showed you the outside of the Meter Auditorium where some of our performances are housed, but here is another one. It's the Dressel Theater. So several performances will be in there as well. And there's a big open window here. You can see there's some construction going on. So we are currently redoing our libraries. So this, hopefully by the time you'll be getting here, it will be complete. But you can see our library is located right here next to these buildings that are very essential. And then down here, this giant compass looking item is one of our other works of art. It's actually a fountain most of the time. There's usually water coming up in the middle of it. And it's actually a functional sundial, which is very interesting. So another cool thing. So it's actually starting to pour down rain. So I think I'm going to stay in here for the remainder of the webinar. But again, there are other buildings associated with the Pollard College that you're not going to be seeing today, unfortunately. There is the Jody Richards Hall for Mass Media we talked about. We have our music hall for all of our music vocal students as well. And then as well as other buildings on campus that you'll be having classes in. You can see I've kind of made a circle. So there's that colonnades area I was standing up on top of a few minutes ago. So at this time, and you can still hear me and see me, yes, Chelsea? Perfect. So at this time, if you all have any questions about the Pollard College or about WKU in general, we'd be happy to answer those as well. So it looks like in the chat, we have a couple. So for funding options for graduate studies, so if you are a graduate student here at WKU, funding is a little bit different. So for undergraduate, there are several different scholarship options. But for graduate students, we do more assistantships. So for those assistantships, you'll be working very closely with a professor in your field, and you'll be receiving either partial or full funding for that assistantship. And for that, I believe the question was fee waivers for the application fee. Unfortunately, we don't do fee waivers for the application fee. For our undergraduate students, we are currently postponing those fees. So if you are applying to WKU, thanks to some COVID restrictions, we realize times are a little difficult right now. We're not requiring those fees at the moment, but you will still have to pay it before you begin here at WKU. All right, another question. Any other questions at all, actually? I don't think I see any more. Nothing at all? All right, looks like, is there still available funding at the moment? Yes, so you can still apply for different scholarships for undergraduate. So basically, we have a few different ones kind of depending on where you're from. So for example, Chelsea is from Belize. So for that area there, we have an OAS scholarship, but then there's also scholarships available through a portal system called Top Dollar. So basically, once you are accepted at WKU, you'll receive some information about Top Dollar. You can put in some of your info. So for example, where you're from and what you want to be studying, things you've been involved in, and other scholarships that might be available to you will pop up. And you can apply to those additionally on top of any merit scholarship. But for graduate students, funding for graduate studies is available through assistantships, as I was saying. So for those, it's going to be up to the program itself. So you're going to want to be in contact with the program coordinator within your actual graduate field. because they're the ones that make the decisions for admission. They're also the ones that are going to help you and tell you more about those graduate studies assistantships, if that makes sense. So whatever you're studying at WKU at the graduate level, you're definitely want to be in contact with that program coordinator for those types of questions. Other questions? Anything about Potter College or campus or life here at WKU? I can still apply without an app fee. So again, for undergraduate students, we are currently not requiring the app fee to be accepted at WKU. You still eventually will have to pay that application fee. For graduate studies, I'm not sure if the graduate school is currently doing that same policy. I would have to check on you for that. So if you want to send me an email, I'd be glad to look that up for you. So if you have any additional questions that I haven't answered, or for example, if you think of something after the webinar, you can absolutely email us. And that email, if you're ready to write it down, it's iem@wku.edu. And we can put that in the chat for you as well. But again, that's iem@wku.edu. Any other questions that you might have for me or for Chelsea? Nothing at all? Okay, well, thank you all so much again for tuning in with me and with Chelsea. We have several other webinars coming up if you'd like to tune in for those. So actually next week, we'll be doing one on our International Center. So I'll give you a tour of the inside of that building, which is where your international advisor is going to be located. It's where our international student diplomats are going to be located, and there'll be excellent resources for you. It's also where our study abroad office is located. So we have a lot of different options to study abroad and study away with WKU. So if you'd like to go and do a short-term program, maybe a couple weeks in another part of the US, if you'd like to go to another country and study for a couple of weeks or even a full semester, there are all kinds of different options for that. So we'll be talking about that next week as well as we tour the International Center. So if you all have no further questions, we're going to let you go. Thank you so much for joining. Chelsea, thank you so much for joining me as well and sharing about your experience. I really appreciate it.
Thank you for having me, Bryson. Bye,
All right.
everyone.
Bye, everyone. Have a wonderful day. Stay healthy, stay well.